Greetings and salutations, my friends. This is it. This is the final video of my year-long movie marathon where I watched one movie a day, every day, for the entirety of 2025. So that means that in 2025, I sat through 365 movies, and that isn't even that's not even maybe like a fifth of our collection. We have a massive movie collection. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do after this, but I decided to at least show you guys another part of our collection. But yeah, we've got thousands of TV shows, movies, wrestling DVDs, Blu-rays, 4Ks, all kinds of stuff. So not sure what we're going to do, but I'll figure something out. I might just maybe do collection videos. I've seen other people do these videos where they show their collections, just one movie at a time, like go through a section, show their comedy, show their horror, show their labels, like they get anything from Arrow or Vinegar Syndrome or Shout Factory. I may do something like that. Not sure yet, but I want to be able to do something more with my family video director's chair, because I do like sitting in this thing and doing something constructive with it. So you may also notice that this week I am not wearing glasses. A little behind the scenes, last week I was doing, or the last video I did, I got this new light and I put those little rings on my glasses. I hated that. I was talking it over with my wife and she suggested not wearing my glasses in my next video. So I'm going to try that. So I'm kind of flying blind here. Everything is very, very blurry to me. So if I feel like if it looks like I'm squinting, having a hard time seeing anything, that's the reason why. So that said, let's get into the final movies that I watched in 2025, starting with one of my favorite one of my favorite Japanese movies. And it's because it's hard to find a movie that has women shooting ninja stars out of their butts, shooting acid breast milk, and dressed up as goblins. It's hard to find movies like that, but if you look hard enough, you'll find Robo Geisha. Great little movie. It's not really a family film. Well, there's a family in it, little sisters who are bickering, and one is a geisha, the other one is not. The one who's not is actually prettier. Series of events, they wind up as Robo Geishas and they wind up fighting. They've got katanas, they've got throwing stars, and as I said, there's these goblin chicks that are dressed like goblins that shoot acid breast milk, and then there's a giant robot building thing. It's a fun movie. Definitely one you have to watch from the beginning to get really the full scope of what you're looking at. But I do recommend it if you like sort of off the wall, sort of weird films. The next one is going to be the last in the Cornetto trilogy, and that is World's End. It took me a while before I realized I had not watched World's End yet, but World's End, great film, going along with Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz. And then I got a little bit closer to completing the American Pie series of films with American Wedding. Holds up. It's definitely, these American Pie movies are definitely a product of their time. They definitely represent the zeitgeist, I guess you would say, in terms of how movies were made, how these sort of comedies were made, and how they used music in these movies. They don't really do that anymore. It kind of died out when the American Pie films stopped being made and stopped being relevant, rather. But still, the first couple of them, I got to watch American Reunion still, but the first three, they hold up pretty well. They're still pretty funny. Then we started going, when we went through again, Sharknado. We're up to Sharknado 5, Global Swarming. So I've got one more to go on this. I was hoping to be able to finish these off in 2025. Didn't happen, but you know what? I got one more to go. Plus, apparently there is a Sharknado Origins movie coming out. I'm looking forward to that. I keep seeing where that might be in theaters. If it is, then my son and I are definitely going to go see that one, because I've got Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, Organic Intelligence. We've got Sharknado, and there's a Godzilla movie coming out. That's a great, going to be a great year for movies. So these next ones are going to be ones that I watched for the week of Christmas. We started off with a great film sort of good at getting to see one of the few movies that I had that gets into an origin, a possible origin for Santa Claus, and how he, and how he came about giving gifts to children and, being the jolly elf that we know him as. And then, of course, is Santa's Slay, where he originally was a demon who wanted to kill people, lost a bet to an angel, was forced to be friendly to everybody for like 1,000 years, and then decided that once his 1,000 years was up, he was going to kill the angel, and hilarity ensues. You even get somebody who is impaled on a flagpole that has to be cut in half to be removed from the flagpole. Good times. The next one, I'm not really sure how this is considered a Christmas movie. And I do apologize for the placement of the sticker from the store that I bought it from, but it is The Ref with, Denis Leary. Not having my glasses on really kind of distracts me a lot. But Denis Leary, he's a sort of a bumbling criminal who, through a series of events, winds up taking a married couple hostage. I guess it is around Christmas time, so that's where people sort of think that it's a Christmas movie, but Christmas is barely mentioned, and it's barely even a thing in this movie. But that aside, it's still a great film to see Denis Leary dealing with a married couple who's just nothing but just bickering. All they do is argue and fight and insult each other and call each other names and just are mean to each other. And anybody who knows Denis Leary's persona knows how that would not really work very well with people who are acting like this married couple does. So great. The next one is another movie that I have that talks about the origin, a possible origin of Santa Claus, and it is Rare Exports, A Christmas Tale, which gets into sort of the Norwegian aspect of the mythology behind Santa Claus. Great one, and it's cool because you think that Santa Claus is going to be coming from one direction. He actually comes from a different direction entirely, but a great little film that really doesn't get a whole lot of attention, which I think it deserves a lot more attention than what it gets. The next one was part of my weekly viewing of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. So Monday through Friday, I try to watch an episode of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, this series here, and the Transformers. And of course, I'm talking about Transformers Generation 1. So we got to be Christmas time. So I figured, you know what? I do have this, and this is the He-Man She-Ra Christmas special. So I watched that. Not one of my favorite Christmas specials. The whole idea of villains like this one, Skeletor, sort of becomes, for lack of a better term, he becomes infected with the spirit of the Christmas season, and he's nicer, and it's not really what I expected. Plus, I'm not that big on She-Ra, and She-Ra's cast of characters are a little too foo-foo for me. So I enjoy it for what it is, but I don't go too much into it. What I do enjoy every moment of is, of course, the classic Christmas Vacation. Not much more anybody can say about that, so we're going to move on. The next one is another one that really a whole lot cannot be said that hasn't already been said about it, and that is Home Alone, which is what we watched on Christmas Day. It's one of my son's favorite films, so we always try to watch this on Christmas Day, if not right before. So it's a Christmas Eve, Christmas Day viewing for that. Another one that my kid wanted to watch is right after Christmas. Of course, you follow up Christmas with horror films. So he wanted to check out this one called Splinter, which is about sort of an alien fungus, I guess, that, once it infects you, it takes you over, it twists and contorts your body, and it seeks out any sources of heat. They don't really get into much explanation as to where it came from, what it is, anything like that. So if you're looking for an origin for this thing, you're not going to find it here, which is great, it's exactly the kind of movie that I like. I don't like movies where they give origins to everything right off the bat. Sometimes I like to have a little bit of mystery in my movies, and that's what you get with Splinter. Great film. He's actually watched it twice. Once here and once over at his aunt's house, and so he really seemed to like it. The next one is one of the older films. Actually, this might be the oldest movie that I have in this stack of films, and this is the classic with Marilyn Monroe, Some Like It Hot. I got this from a secondhand store that we have here in Jackson called Disc Traders, and had it on the shelf for a couple of months. Decided, you know what better time to watch it than with my movie marathon. So there you go. Some Like It Hot. It's a great little sort of, I don't know. You've got these guys that are musicians. They witness a gangland murder and they go into hiding. They leave and they go to Florida and sort of hook up with a all girl band. So they have to disguise themselves as women. And, some guys find them attractive as women, and hilarity ensues. Plus, you got Marilyn Monroe. You really can't go wrong with that. Next up, Men in Black. It's Men in Black. What more can you say? Fun movie. And of course, I always got to have a Godzilla movie in these. So this one here, since it was the final one of 2025, I decided to watch Godzilla Final Wars. Fun movie. Loved it. Another one I picked up from the Disc Traders that I hadn't had a chance to check out. Wanted to check this one out for a while, but then I wound up getting that Shaft 4K and went in that direction. But I got the Jim Brown blaxploitation film Slaughter. Didn't think I would enjoy this one as much as I did, but it is fun. You can definitely see where they take a lot of cues from Shaft. That movie did sort of set the standard for these type of films, but it definitely stands up on its own. And an interesting bit of trivia: this is one of Jim Brown's favorite movies that he starred in. One of the other movies that he was in that he really liked was Mars Attacks, which I believe I watched earlier this year. And the final film that I watched in 2025 is the only movie that I had that I could think of that had anything to do with New Year's and New Year's Eve. That is Ghostbusters 2, which I have the 4K Steelbook for. And no, I don't have the J card for it anymore. I usually will get rid of those. I do have some of them. Some of our Steelbooks still have them. I try to avoid Steelbooks in general. I don't really see the point in them. But Ghostbusters 2 on 4K was the first time I've been able to check that out. A lot of fun. Great movie. Stands up. And it's kind of weird how when that movie first came out, how a lot of fans didn't like it. But over the years, it's kind of made a whole life of its own and is now actually a beloved entry in the Ghost Rider franchise, probably in part to the cinematic monstrosity that is the 2016, what I like to call the Wish.com Ghostbusters. But that said, that's it. That wraps up 2025, all the movies that I watched in this year. Not sure if I'm going to do any kind of a grand list or anything like that. I might if there's enough interest in it. As far as what I'm going to do from here on in, I don't know. I do like the idea of continuing to watch movies. I know over TikTok, I have a second account where I'm going to be doing music because my wife and I have accumulated through secondhand stores, through garage sales, through ordering from places like oldies.com, a nice record collection. And there's a lot of great songs in our collection that I would like to share because I think that one of the things that this world needs more is music, because music is for everybody and everybody enjoys it. And I think if we shared more things like music, movies, stuff that we genuinely enjoy, then we would have more positive energy in the world today. So that'll be over on TikTok. I don't think YouTube will allow me to do that. But that said, I hope everybody had a great Christmas and had a great New Year, and we will see everybody next time with whatever I decide to do next. See you later. Bye.